To our big story, nearly 2,000 people on Hawaii's Big Island are being told that they need to leave their homes now. The mandatory evacuation of nearly 800 homes in the Leilani Estates prompted by a powerful volcanic eruption that is sending lava into neighborhoods on the eastern part of the island. You see the huge plumes of smoke. Officials with the Hawaii County Civil Defense say at least 2 structures have caught fire thus far. Hawaii's governor has activated the National Guard to help with evacuations there. The danger, though, far from over because active vents on Kilauea are still erupting today. Meanwhile, hundreds of small earthquakes have been shaking the area and rattling people's nerves all week long. At least a dozen happened overnight. Today, several area schools and roads are closed, and many people are complaining about the overwhelming smell of sulfur exposure to high levels of the gas could be deadly. Want to get straight out to our KHON anchor, Marissa Yamena, who joins me from outside the Big Island's Emergency Operations Center. So are people paying attention to the evacuations?
Yes, they are for the most part, Susan. They've been trying to get the word out. It's a very rural area. The homes are, I guess there's a lot of space in between the homes. It's a really nice area, a lot of greenery in between, but that's part of the challenge in trying to get the word out. But they've been doing a great job, and for the most part, people have been listening. We are inside the Emergency Operations Center. I want to show you, there's federal, state, county agencies, department heads. They're all working on a coordinated effort to try to come up with this emergency response to the lava. It's been about 17 hours since the eruption started. It's a very dynamic situation. The lava is very unpredictable. The fissure opened in that very rural area, and so far we've learned that 2 homes have been consumed by the lava. That's thus far. We haven't heard of any injuries. Now, I do want to bring in Governor David Ige, and thank you so much for being here and joining us. You've been kept abreast by the county, and can you just update us on the latest?
Yeah, certainly. We have been engaged with the Hawaii County Civil Defense for more than the last 24 hours. As you had stated, there are 3 fissures that have opened in Leilani Estates, and we are encouraging those residents in Leilani Estates and Lanipuna Estates to evacuate their homes. We've opened emergency centers at Pahoa Community Center and at Keau Community Center so that residents can evacuate to those centers.
Do you know, are those being heavily used, or are most people just staying with friends or family?
You know, as you know, many will stay with friends and family, and that's fine. For those who don't have a place to go to, those are the ones that we want in the emergency centers.
Now, some people might be seeing this incredible video. It is very dangerous as well, even though it's quite mesmerizing to see the lava. Some people might just want to hop on a plane and come to the Big Island to see it, but they can't actually get close to it, right?
No, they can't get close to it, and we've issued an FAA order closing the airspace around the eruption site, so they won't be able to come to look at the eruption. We would encourage visitors to stay away from the Puna area. The rest of the island is open for visitors, and clearly on the west side and Hilo Banyan Drive is still continuing to operate with no impact. But clearly we want to ask residents and visitors to stay away from the Puna area.
Now, some folks, if they have relatives or friends on the Big Island, they're not able to get a hold of them. Guess what's the message that you have for them?
You know, I just want you to know that Hawaii County Civil Defense is the most experienced and professional organization. And as you can see, there's a whole team of state, federal, and county officials working to keep the community safe. They've been having extensive discussions about how to do that. As you know, I've activated National Guard, and we will continue to provide support as requested from the county. As you can see, it's just a beehive of activity. You know, the tough part about this eruption is that it's unpredictable. We don't know which way the lava is going to flow, and we are planning actively for every contingency that we can think of.
Great. Thank you so much, Governor David Ige. And as he had mentioned, the lava is very unpredictable. Here in Hawaii, we believe in the goddess Pele, and she's the volcano goddess. And In the past, we've seen that she can go one way or another way with the lava, sometimes consuming one home and maybe the neighbor's home she spares. So it's really, really unpredictable. Also, what's unpredictable is how long this is going to last. I was here 4 years ago when the Pahoa flow happened, and that lasted for several months. So it's really unpredictable. We'll just stand by and wait and see.
It is good to know, as the governor said, that there are centers you can go to for those ordered to evacuate. Marissa, thank you so much, and our thanks to Governor David Ige as well. We, of course, are watching this. It's developing, as she said, unpredictable. We'll bring you the latest throughout the show. In just about 20 minutes, I'm going to speak with an official from the U.S. Geological Survey to find out if the volcano is just getting started or if the worst is already behind the Big Island, or if he can even tell if it's that unpredictable. Emotional testimony. Right now, thousands of people on Hawaii's Big Island are waking up to a front seat to nature's fury. This after one of the world's most active volcanoes started erupting yesterday afternoon, sending plumes of smoke and toxic gas into the atmosphere. So far, though, no reports of any injuries, but officials say at least 2 homes in the Leilani estates have burned. Hawaii's governor has activated the National Guard to help with evacuations in that area. The danger, though, far from over because active vents on Kilauea are still erupting today as we speak. Want to bring in Michael Poland. He's a scientist with the U.S. Geological Survey. He has worked at the Hawaii Volcano Observatory. So good to have you on, Michael. So volcano eruptions in Hawaii, this has been active for some time, but certainly not at this level. So what was it triggered by? Was it the earthquakes?
It wasn't the earthquakes. The earthquakes were a manifestation of what was happening. This all started on Monday when the Pu'uo'o crater, which had been the eruption site since 1983, collapsed. And at that point, magma began moving down the East Rift Zone towards the site where it's erupting now. And all of those earthquakes were tracking the motion of that magma underground.
Okay, got it. In terms of evacuations, can you equate this to in terms of how it moves to a wildfire where you can't really predict it? And what shifts this in terms of the lava movement and where people should go when they evacuate?
Well, that's probably not a bad analogy. The uncertainty here is where the magma will come to the surface. In the opening of these eruptions, it can often be very sporadic with multiple vents opening in different places over a broad area. And I think that's what we're seeing now. So the main message for people that live in the area is to evacuate the subdivision as the Hawaii County Civil Defense is informing them and go to the designated shelters in the area.
Is it extremely rare what we're seeing now, or as in Los Angeles, where they're used to the wildfires? Are they used to it there? Do you think there's a plan in place?
I think most people there are aware that they're living on an active volcano, especially in high hazard zones. But the last time that this happened in this particular location on the island was 1960.
Wow.
There were some lava flows that got into the area in 2014, but not like this, with an eruptive vent forming basically in people's yards. So it's been a while since this has happened.
We heard from the governor who said that there are some shelters that people can go to. If there are people, let's say, visiting Hawaii in that particular area, is there a reason to panic? Is the idea to get away off of that island right away?
No, the island itself is fine. It's really the immediate area of the eruption, which is the lower East Rift Zone of Kilauea. There's no other volcanic activity on the island that we need to be concerned about. But definitely having people that are visiting the island stay out of the area is important, not so much for their own safety as it is to keep them out of a very high traffic area with people that are trying to evacuate right now.
We know how to stop something like a fire. How do you stop lava? What do? Do you just let it kind of burn out?
You don't. You don't stop lava flows. You can divert them possibly, but oftentimes those efforts fail. In the 1960 eruption, there was an effort to divert a lava flow from destroying a village. And unfortunately, those efforts ultimately failed, and the village of Kapoho was buried in lava. So really, with these lava flows, they're like bulldozers. They pretty much overcome everything in the path eventually.
All right, we're hoping everyone there is safe and does evacuate in that particular area. Mike Poland, thank you for your expertise. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Just ahead.